Well, hello people, welcome to the next Senpai. Isekai protagonists who have betrayed have to fight against disloyalty from all sides in their reincarnated world, where friends, allies, and even society as a whole turn on overpowered characters. The stories also make play on the genre's supposed power fantasy nature, by starting their heroes at the bottom of society and struggle to see them climb up by some grueling action. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe and share this video to anime lovers in every universe. Keeping watching this video and stay awesome. Let's go! Highrise Invasion. When Yuri Hanju discovers herself hunted by mysterious figures wearing masks, she becomes entirely uncontrolled in her dread, distress, and confusion. Calling out of these events can be a sign of a psychopathic murderer. She had two options to take away: stay struggling, and push back the mysterious masked figures, or jump to her death due to desperation. Yuri rushes to the roof in a desperate effort to find a way out, but what she discovers is a mysterious strange world, surrounded by skyscraper buildings where every door is curiously locked. However, she quickly discovers that other hooded assassins are in the area, anxious to threaten their newly found victims, and conscious of their creepiest desires, prompting Yuri to wonder if they will be able to escape alive. She considers her pseudonym's meaning and understands she cannot survive as bound by her logic. When Yuri activated the faceless mask, something unexpected happened. Although it is never explained, Yuri might also activate her natural ability. She became a god candidate, giving her access to powers like self-enhancement and mask manipulation. Sonyboy. 36 students and their school building are suddenly carried away into a void-like dimension called Drift. When supernatural powers awaken some of them, a sense of detachment begins to divide the group. Even though elite student tries to maintain order, the students with extraordinary powers rebel against their systematic supervision. With all the desperation due to this phenomenon, the students split into several groups. Some students have the power to do whatever they want, some try to find their way back to the original world, and some try to take control of everyone and pretend to be the leader. Nagara is disenchanted with his circumstances and feels like surrendering in many situations. He also finds trouble communicating with other people too. A big difference from him, Nozomi is always optimistic about finding a way out of that mysterious universe. Nozomi had a power called Compass, which he believes can make him detect a way out to the original world. Meanwhile, Nagara can warp himself and others to a previously changed dimension to another world. Nagara was obligated for this tragedy and why he sent everyone to this mystery world after knowing of his superpowers. He actually can't control his power, it's only warping them that creates another dimension randomly. However, the many conflicts and lack of trust among students make them face many problems in survival. The world's finest assassin gets reincarnated in another world. The most dangerous assassin in history had committed lifelong commitment and dedication to the group that had brought him up. But regardless of his commitment, that same group acts to humiliate him, which ultimately results in his death by the hijack of the plane. He finds himself in front of a goddess fascinated by his extraordinary abilities, drowning in frustration and regrets he can no longer pretend. The goddess gives him the chance to reincarnate into a marvelous world of magic and swords to complete a vital task, 8th hero of that world before the latter defected and destroyed the world. His other abilities also cultivate, which permits him to make new friends and allies. Nonetheless, Lug is conscious that his efforts are considerably short of what is needed to exterminate such a formidable opponent as the hero simultaneously. The world of Ottoman games, trapped in dating sims. It's debatable if what occurs in Trapped in a Dating Sim represents a legitimate betrayal. However, numerous characters in the series break the law and manipulate events to their advantage, known as Taskmaster. A die-hard gamer struggles through a dreadful dating sim, only to find himself in a short time until he dies exhausted, suddenly transferred into a different world. Leon Bartfort uses his gaming knowledge and experience to put himself within reach of a contented, comfortable existence since he cannot accept his current situation. However, strange events diverge from the game's previously predicted pattern. Things weren't planned as well. This mob mentality is proving not entirely suitable anymore, and Leon clinging to his long-gone mob role only serves to hinder his decision-making different process. The protagonist will find it practical to resolve every problem in this anime with the help of Luxion, because he is a deuteragonist character powered by hyper-artificial intelligence. With the exciting events unfolding almost hypnotically, this anime will keep your eyes glued to the screen from start to finish and worthy to watch. Uncle from Another World. After being in a coma for 17 years of road accidents, Takafumi's uncle, Yosuke Shibazaki, suddenly wakes up speaking an unrecognizable language and wielding magical powers. After Yosuke showing his magical abilities in real life, Takafumi became interested and enthusiastic about his uncle's experience when he reincarnated into another world. Takafumi decides to take advantage of the situation so that they can make money exploiting his powers. With a spell of memory spirit, Yosuke shows Takafumi his memories of living in another world where he struggled and was full of twisted. Beyond expectation, the local people in the isekai world frequently hunted and murdered him, cause it came off his ugly face. They classified him as a monster or ogre. On the other side, Yosuke had good magic skills after his determination to survival and frequently acted as a hero by saving others from danger without knowing who he was. He has a selfish attitude and often strives for personal benefit to the detriment of others. Takafumi has to inform Ajisen of everything that has transpired with knowledge of the modern world while he has been away. Spend days helping Uncle adjust to modern society while watching his freak memories of the other world. The Fruit of Evolution. Seiichi Hiragi is a harassed, overweight high school student called a loser and a useless boy by his classmates. One day, proclaimed as a god hacks the intercoms of a certain school, they will be summoned there as heroes, grant with the appraisal and special power in hopes that everyone there becomes the savior and defeat the Demon King. It's therefore recommended to create the group party to keep them safe. It was predictable that Seiichi suffered many rejections from his classmate. Unfortunately, because of this constantly terrible experience, Seiichi finds himself in the endless forest of sadness, besides joining his classmates and having received safe practice in modern society. Discrimination often occurs during hiring, and nature can teach him how to survive. Seiichi's gloomy days only worsen despite his desperate hunt for a solution to his situation. He accidentally consumes the Fruit of Evolution, and as a result, in addition to changing his physical form and healing mentally as a winner, he decides to start. Welcome to Demon School, Iruma-kun. Iruma Suzuki, a 15-year-old human who'd been traded by his parents for money and sold to a demon. In a nutshell, this is because his parents are useless trash who didn't work. Iruma is transported to the demon world by Lord Sullivan, the most phenomenal and influential demon, who formally adopts Iruma as his grandson. Iruma is decided to enroll by Lord Sullivan in the Babel's Demon School, where he immediately wants to party with the demons, Clara Valak and Alice Asmodeus. However, Iruma is warned by Sullivan neither to admit his human identity while attending demon school, since if anyone found out, he would be eaten. He was able to develop skills like his overpowering crisis evasion capability, extreme appetite, and the high survival mode as a side effect of his traumatic experiences during his first 14 years of life. He also wears the golden ring of gluttony on his right hand. This ring is an apparatus that sustains mana, storing it for future uses for any demon that doesn't have magical powers. However, Iruma is kind-hearted and doesn't like conflict when his entire persona and appearance change in his wicked phase. He is more aggressive, arrogant, and confident in himself. At the same time, he is also one of the candidates to become the next Demon King in the Netherworld. Sukimichi, Moonlit Fantasy. As part of a mysterious contract that a goddess and his parents reached years ago, Makoto Misumi is transferred to another planet to meet the goddess and take on the duties of hero. However, the gods proclaims Makoto to be hideous, forbids him from even having to look at him, and refuses to grant his heroic title. Makoto feels treated like a pest where the protagonist was abandoned in the wilderness by the goddess. Far from human society, in exchange for which she imbues him with the abilities to communication with creatures in another world. Alongside that, he had to think of a way how to survive too. Makoto's innate magical and physical talents awaken due to the differences between Earth and this mysterious world, giving him superhuman strength. Supporting Makoto in building a new environment where everyone could live in peace, he meets a variety of demi-humans and mythical monsters who are fascinated by his abilities. In a world where the goddess herself prohibited him from communicating with others of his sort, Makoto and his friends must help satisfy his desire, possibly overturning society. Arifureta, from commonplace to world's strongest. Hajime Nagumo and his friends are transported to a magical world in Arifureta. They're all heroes with superhuman powers, and our protagonist of the story has just weak alchemical magic. During a dungeon raid, he's betrayed by a student and falls to the bottom. He pledges to get stronger and to get revenge. In the Great Orcus Labyrinth, Hajime devours huge demonic beasts and survives thanks to ambrosia and his iron-forged determination. He mystically mutated into a monster hybrid when he devoured the monster's meat and is no longer considered a pure-blooded human. The monster's power modified Hajime's condition, giving him a high status over level 100. Attracted by his persona and overwhelming power, Hajime and his harem guild were accompanied on a journey to find their way back home while transforming from commonplace to the world's strongest. The Rising of the Shield Hero. The four cardinal heroes are a group of ordinary Japanese men, who were summoned to the kingdom of Melromark to become the saviors. Life is sweet for the spear, bow, and sword heroes, but the shield hero is seen as powerless and is largely ridiculed. Due to his weak shield, Naofumi is mocked and disparaged by his fellow heroes, and the kingdom's people due to his weak offensive ability and lackluster personality. However, the first princess of Melromark soon betrays him, and he is falsely accused of manipulating her. Naofumi places off on his quest to build himself and his reputation while carrying a raging storm of pain and betrayal in his heart. After meeting Raphtalia and Philo, Naofumi starts to heal emotionally and trust his companions. Naofumi and the guild are forced to battle for the kingdom's existence and save the Melromark residents from an unfavorable future as the waves approach the realm.